Welcome to Tomorrow Unveiled. We got this huge stack of articles you sent over this week, all about the latest in wearable tech. And our research team has been digging into them. And wow, it's clear we are way beyond just, counting steps now. It feels like technology isn't just something we carry around anymore. It's like literally strapping itself onto us, changing how we interact with everything digital.
It really is a profound shift. It's moving from devices we just sort of use to systems that are so integrated they almost become part of us. That's really the core idea that jumped out from all the research this week.
Totally agree. So today on Tomorrow Unveiled, we're unpacking StrapDen this week in wearable tech. We're going to try and boil down the biggest breakthroughs from the sources you shared, looking at how these gadgets are going from just collecting data to, well, actively merging with our abilities in our everyday lives. Our dedicated research team went through a ton of material, cross-referencing everything to bring you the stuff that really holds up, the most solid insights.
Okay, sounds
So let's start with what our analysis is calling the strapped-in paradigm. This isn't just, another new gadget review. It's a bigger shift, right?
exactly. It's wearables evolving from, say, your basic first-gen fitness tracker to these active intelligent systems. They achieve this really deep human-computer integration HCI.
And a key thing the research points out is how this blurs the lines, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Between you and the device.
Yeah, definitely. It allows for this seamless, real-time, context-aware interaction. We're talking about tech that starts to understand not just what you're doing, but maybe even why, and then it reacts instantly to help you out.
And this isn't just random. The research team that pulled this all together really highlights how it's driven by, like, three big things converging. First, hardware getting incredibly small but still powerful. Second, AI spreading everywhere, but crucially on the device itself.
Right, the on-device AI.
Yeah, exactly. And third, these new ways of interacting that feel much more natural. It's like all the pieces are finally falling into place.
That convergence is absolutely the engine here. It's changing how we even think about interacting with technology.
Okay, speaking of what's new, let's look at some key launches from the past week that really show this deeper integration. First on the list, AI-powered smart glasses. The Oakley Meta HSTN smart glasses are a big example. They're calling them performance AI glasses.
Yeah, our sources definitely flagged those. They've got some pretty significant hardware bumps compared to older models. Battery life is doubled up to 8 hours typical use, which is decent, plus like 48 more hours from the charging case,
Oh, wow.
and a 3K camera, which is a big step up from 1080p, and IPX4 water resistance, so much tougher for actual activity. They tackled some common complaints there.
Okay, solid foundation. But the performance AI, what makes it performance AI? How is it integrated differently than just, having Siri or Google Assistant on your face?
That's the key part, yeah. It's not just a general assistant. It's designed to augment what you're doing right now in context. So imagine you're golfing. You could just ask the glasses, like, what's the wind doing? Or maybe even get a quick tip on your swing based on past data it has.
Ah,
It's about those specific context-relevant questions, hands-free, tailored for certain activities or user groups, not just a generic helper.
got it. Less general AI, more like an intelligent co-pilot for specific things. Makes
Yeah.
sense for sports.
Yeah.
All right, let's shift gears from sports to health. We've seen some huge steps in medical and therapeutic wearables, too. These are becoming proper clinical tools, not just like wellness gadgets for tracking sleep.
Absolutely. One standout our research highlighted is the Actia wrist-worn blood pressure monitor. It's cuffless.
Cuffless BP.
Wow. And it's the first one FDA cleared for over-the-counter use. That makes continuous, non-invasive tracking a real possibility for way more people. And then there's the OsteoBoost Health Belt, also FDA cleared, for low bone density. It uses targeted vibrations as a drug-free therapy, a whole new approach.
Okay, interesting. But maybe the most mind-blowing example of integration our team found was this new arm cuff for stroke patients.
Oh, yeah, that one's incredible.
It detects the intent to move a muscle and then stimulates the nerves to actually help make the movement happen.
Exactly. It's actively reinforcing those neural pathways. It shows how wearables are moving beyond just monitoring into active therapy, intervening in real time.
That's computing directly interacting with biology to help recovery. Just wow.
It's a major leap. Active physiological intervention.
Okay, let's jump over to VR. Virtual reality. The sources show we're finally moving past those clunky joysticks for getting around. Immersive locomotion and haptics.
Yeah, the idea of VR shoes or other haptic interfaces that simulate walking, add that sensory feedback, it's a real breakthrough.
So you can actually feel the ground, sort of.
Kind of, yeah. It gives you a much deeper sense of presence, Makes you feel like you're actually there in the virtual world, moving naturally. It tricks your brain better.
Making VR feel more real?
Mm-hmm.
And our source mentioned this isn't just for gaming, right?
Not at all. This kind of physical immersion could change things like surgical training. Imagine practicing with real tactile feedback.
Right.
Or architects walking through a building design before a single brick is laid.
Huge potential there. Okay, so these amazing products aren't just appearing out of thin air. They're built on some serious research. Let's peel back another layer and look at the foundational science driving this. First, and maybe the biggest one, is this on-device AI revolution.
Yes, the data clearly shows this massive shift towards on-device and ambient intelligence. Think systems like Baboni AI, that kind of thing. Processing things locally, right on the wearable, not sending everything to the cloud and back. It's absolutely essential for deep HCI.
Why is that so critical?
Well, multiple reasons. Better privacy, for one. Massively reduced latency. You get that real-time feedback. And autonomy. The device works even if you're offline.
Right, so the smarts are right there with you instantly. The goal, the sources say, is for AI to become like second nature.
Yeah.
Almost anticipating what you need.
Precisely. And that needs that immediate local processing power.
Then there's the work in neural interfaces and brain-computer interfaces, BCIs. This sounds like science fiction, but how close are we?
Well, it's moving fast. One really fascinating area our research highlighted is called semantic reconstruction from FNIRS.
Okay, break that down.
So FNIRS uses near-infrared light to measure brain activity non-invasively, like a portable brain scanner, sort of. This research is about decoding the actual meaning of words and sentences from that brain activity, understanding what someone is thinking, not just that they're thinking.
That's huge.
It is. And on the hardware side, sources talk about these new hair-fine microneedle sensors. They can pick up EEG signals, the brain's electrical activity, with really high accuracy.
So making mobile BCI actually practical.
Paving the way, yeah. Imagine controlling an AR display just by looking, just by focusing your attention. The potential for assistive tech, for hands-free control. It's transformative.
Wow, the act of just looking becomes an input.
Exactly. Perception itself is input.
Okay, we've hit the cool products, the foundational research. But for a lot of this, especially AR glasses, the display itself has always been a sticking point. Our sources even called it the single greatest bottleneck for AR really taking off. But there's progress there too.
Definitely progress. The data points strongly towards light field displays, these project digital images with real depth cues.
Depth, how does that help?
It solves something called the vergence accommodation conflict, the VAC. That's the mismatch where your eyes focus at one distance, but the image looks like it's at another. Causes major eye strain.
Ah, I've heard about that.
Light field displays fix that by projecting images with genuine depth. Makes AR way more natural, more comfortable for wearing all day.
Okay, that's big.
And alongside that, you've got laser-based scanning LBS display platforms.
Yeah.
These allow for tiny projectors, less than 1.4 cubic centimeters, and they use very little power. Crucial for making glasses lightweight and, actually stylish.
Right, things people would actually wear.
Yeah.
That is a game changer. And then another way to interact. 3D gaze tracking. Our research team flagged Gansen's Gaze 2 AI. It goes beyond just tracking where your eyes are looking on a flat screen.
Yeah, it captures gaze in 3 dimensions, creates what they call a 3D spatial mouse.
A 3D mouse with your eyes.
Essentially, yes. A key insight here is it enables this new interaction style, attention-based computing. By knowing not just where you're looking, but at what depth, the device gets a much better idea of your intent. Your context.
So you can just look at something.
Exactly. Look at an object, get info from an AI, totally hands-free, because the system understands your true point of focus in 3D space.
Okay, so we've got the shifts, the tech breakthroughs from the sources.
Yeah.
What does it all mean in the real world? Where is this integration actually being applied? Let's talk applications. Healthcare first.
Wearables are really pushing healthcare towards being more proactive, more personalized. That continuous data stream allows for much earlier detection of problems, changes the whole model beyond just doctor visits. And our research shows things like AR-guided surgery with that accurate depth perception we talked about becoming more common, plus sophisticated communication aids coming out of the BCI work.
Okay, and then there's the enterprise side, the augmented enterprise. Productivity, safety.
Huge potential there. Think frontline workers with AR glasses getting hands-free instructions or remote expert help right in their view.
Like having a manual or an expert looking over your shoulder, but digitally.
Exactly. And tying it all together, wearables can give real-time safety alerts, monitoring of workers' vitals, or warning about hazards on a job site. And VR training platforms, especially with better movement systems, offer super effective, safe training for risky jobs.
Makes sense. And then, of course, entertainment and just personal computing.
Yeah, VR gaming gets way more immersive with natural movement, obviously, but it goes further. These new inputs, like gaze tracking, could totally redefine how we use computers, especially spatial computers, navigating just by looking. And those AI smart glasses augmenting daily life, getting real-time info during sports, or even just walking down the street, turning moments into learning opportunities seamlessly.
So across all these areas, there's this unifying idea that emerged from the sources, the human digital twin. What exactly is that?
It's not a static model, but like a live, dynamic data stream. It captures your vitals, your environment, maybe even your focus or intent, all in real time.
Okay.
And the tech of this strapped-in era, the sensors, the AI, the interfaces, these are the tools to build and interact with that digital twin, analyzing the data to optimize for health or safety or fun.
Okay, that's a lot.
Better.
And as amazing as all this tech is, it brings some serious challenges, right? Especially around privacy and security. The sources called it the privacy and security labyrinth.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. The panopticon problem with AR glasses is a major concern flagged in the research. They're collecting sensitive biometrics from you, sure, but also potentially recording everything around you, other people, private places. Huge privacy questions there.
And with BCIs, you mentioned neuroprivacy. That sounds even more intense.
It is. We're talking about potentially the most sensitive data possible, thoughts, cognitive states. Our research picked up on state-level laws starting to define neural data as sensitive. It's a whole new legal frontier.
Wow.
Plus, the usual security risks, malware in AR apps, data breaches, misuse of data. It's complex.
It really is. And it highlights how fast the tech is moving, leaving regulations trying to catch up. These regulatory gray areas.
Definitely. There's that constant tension. Is this a wellness gadget or a medical device?
Right. Like that FDA warning mentioned in the research to a company marketing blood pressure insights without the proper clearance. Accuracy and safety are paramount.
But the rules and ethical guidelines just aren't keeping pace with the innovation. It makes things tricky for everyone involved.
And for all our listeners on YouTube right now, if you're finding this discussion valuable, please take a second to like this video, subscribe to Tomorrow Unveiled, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future updates. So, okay, beyond privacy and regulation, what other hurdles did the sources point to for getting these advanced wearables into everyone's hands? Mass adoption barriers.
Well, a big one is just usability and, frankly, wearability. Ergonomics. Does it feel good? Does it look okay? Social acceptance is huge.
Nobody wants to look like a cyborg yet.
Right, and cost, obviously. This cutting-edge stuff is expensive. Prices need to drop, or the value proposition needs to be crystal clear.
Yeah.
Then there's interoperability. Will my smart glasses talk to my health tracker, talk to my VR shoes, or is it all locked in separate ecosystems? That's a big question.
And data quality concerns, equity issues, the digital health divide, and making sure the AI isn't biased because of skewed training data. Lots to consider.
The core tension, really, that the research underscores is that trade-off between all the cool functions and the inherent privacy risks. The data that makes it amazing is also what makes it potentially dangerous.
Okay, so pulling it all together from the sources, what's the outlook? What are the big trends shaping wearables going forward? Our analysis saw three dominant forces really intertwined.
First, continued miniaturization and efficiency. Smaller, lighter, less power-hungry components. That's foundational.
Second, that pervasive on-device AI becoming the core, the central nervous system for these devices. That local processing enabling real-time, private, smart experiences.
Right, that's a strategic shift.
And third, those natural, intuitive interfaces moving way beyond screens and buttons to things like gaze, voice, maybe even neural input eventually.
So near term, say the next 12, 24 months, we should expect AI-first design to just become the norm.
Yeah, absolutely. New wearables designed around being platforms for smart assistants. And continued market segmentation, very specific devices for healthcare, industry, pro sports, etc. And that medical-to-consumer path you mentioned, where the serious tech eventually becomes available to regular people, that'll keep being important.
Seems very likely, yeah. It's a key way these deep tech innovations actually reach the market.
So the ultimate goal of this whole StrapDen idea is technology that just disappears, becomes part of us.
Essentially, yeah. Integration so deep the interface vanishes, it becomes just a natural extension of how we perceive and think. Seamless, almost invisible, like a sixth sense.
It sounds incredible, but
Also a bit daunting. Yeah. Because while the tech is amazing, the real challenge, the deep work, is navigating all the human stuff. The ethics, the privacy, security, trust. As we strap into this future, the big question isn't just what the tech can do, but who does it make us become? Does it truly augment us, or does it subtly reshape us in ways we don't even notice, guided by some algorithm? That's the real deep dive that's only just starting.
A powerful thought to end on. And hey, if you're listening on a service like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we would be so grateful if you could leave Tomorrow Unveiled a rating and review. It really does help new people find us.
And we genuinely love hearing what you think. Whether you're on YouTube or your podcast app, drop a comment. Let us know your take on wearable tech and where it's all headed.
That is all the time we have for today on Tomorrow Unveiled. Thank you so much for joining us for this exploration of the wearable world. We'll catch you next time as Tomorrow Unveiled continues to track the evolution and uncover the next big breakthroughs.